What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG Structures review. Today, guys, we are going to be going over the third chapter of the Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG Structures manga. So, without further ado, guys, let's get straight into it. So, what were my thoughts on this chapter? I actually did enjoy this chapter, though I will say, though, I kind of have a little bit of bias. Not really a big bias, but I do have a little bit of bias because I kind of mentioned this before, I think in the first review video that I did, and it kind of is coming true right now with this duel that we're going to be going into. But without further ado, guys, let's get into it. So this episode starts off, we're back at Shoma's house. He's in the structure world right now. He's trying to put more into his tinny deck. He's adding a couple more cards into his deck. In fact, he actually gains a Link 3 monster, which is a combination of Shoma of the Tenji and Monk of the Tenyi, and makes Link 3 Masters of the Tenyi, making a whole new Link 3 monster with combined attack points and basically being two monsters and the one with the same it's basically the same two monsters just as one with combined attack points. And he's talking to all his monsters. He's trying to get his whole deck all built together, and he actually does complete his Tenny deck in this episode. He ends up coming back, he puts all the cards together, builds his Tenny deck, and then runs into his sister where they make a little bit of comment about how long she'd been there because of the fact that he was in the structure world for a very long time, which is something that's very... I really want to learn more about this structural world kind of concept. I don't know what this is. Can anyone go into the structure world, or can only Shoma go into this world? That's something I really want to see tamper, because obviously, again, this manga is going to be more focused around the actual TCG and OCG. Obviously, it's in the name of OCG Structures, and it's originated in the actual card game. So I would like this. Obviously, we're going to see more of like the OCG and TCG, but I want to see a little bit more of like the structural world and this kind of concept, and kind of see what more expansions are they going to go with this. Like, are his friends going to actually go into the structural world, and maybe like they actually have to build structure decks in that world, or just build decks, I should say. It's fun. I said structure decks, but, well, I guess they technically, well, they're not building a structure deck, they're just building a deck. There is an actual structure deck you can buy, but that's something completely different. But getting back on topic, we go there. He comes back from the structure world. The next day, he actually goes and he wants to duel Strong again, which I'm just gonna assume for how much time has been in there, he just keeps on dueling Strong. We don't know who keeps on winning, but Strong tells him, like, you know what, it's time for you to start trying to duel with other people. I don't mind dueling you, it's just that you need to start dueling some other people besides me. And if you guys remember, Shoma is a very shy guy. He doesn't really have the greatest time talking with people, so this is a little bit hard for him, but he decides to go and do it. He actually sees some girl like by herself, and he decides, you know what, I'm gonna go and challenge her. He acts all brave. He goes down to go talk to her, and then, well, he tells Strong that he's gonna go talk to this girl over there. Strong recognizes, and he realizes that Shoma has messed up. He goes and asks her to duel. She responds in a question, like you want to duel me? And then we have, oh my gosh, this might be my favorite character so far in this manga so far, Dark Corda, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, but that is the new character that we get introduced. We also get introduced as his sister, Light Tsukiko, I believe is how you say that, which honestly is weird, that the fact that these two have different last names. I'm just going to assume that their mother and father were not the same mother and father, I guess. I don't know, like, I feel like maybe Dark's father was his actual father and his mother was actually Light's mother. That's not make assumptions, okay? That's not actually make assumptions. I've never played Psycho Card Battles, so if they actually do say where these characters come from, I have no idea. So we do get introduced to these two characters. Dark, actually, I'm just gonna call him Dark. Dark grabs him by the arm and then challenges Shoma to a duel, which he actually does accept. He does tell him that he's going to duel him. And even Strong was like, no, do not duel this guy. He was one. He mentions that he was one of the members of the elementary school Duel Kings. In fact, he was actually the strongest one out of the 4 that were actually in that class. So, and I think Light was one of those. I could be wrong in that. We know Strong is one of them. We know Dark is one of them, and I believe Light was one. So we have not met the 4th one yet. And well, there's a good chance we might have not met the 3rd one either. But I'm 95% sure that Light was also one of them as well. And she even says like it's not a good idea to duel Dark, but Shoma doesn't care. He ends up going to dueling him anyways, and then that's where we kick off the rest of this chapter with the duel between Shoma and Dark. And all we get in this turn is, I think it's similar to the last duel, except we don't actually get any monsters summoned by Shoma. We only see Dark's turn. We actually see Dark's turn, and this is where it gets me excited. This man plays Mathmech. Now, for people that don't know or didn't watch my first chapter review, I said that this was a manga that had the potential to have some of your favorite archetypes from the series that can be in this manga because they more focus around the card game. And one of the decks that I said I would love to see is Mathmech. It's my favorite Cybers deck. It's one of my favorite decks of all time. And it was played in this episode. Dark uses Mathmech, which I really do like. And this is a deck I actually know decently well. I don't really play Mathmech anymore. I just like the concept of them. Like they're more like math kind of monsters. They're basically technological math monsters, and I really do like that. Like we see subtraction, we see addition, we see I can't remember that one's name actually. I can't remember the tuner monster. I think it was like substitute or something like that, I think is what its name was, but he actually goes to place. He actually summons one of the Xyz monsters, which is really weird. So like I think they call both of the monsters in the sub. I think, well, I know for like the synchro monsters you have Mathmech process slayers. That's what they normally are called, because in the dub or like in the TCG it's known as Geno Mathmech, and then you have I think like Primo Mathmech. Again, it's been a minute since I've actually played Mathmech, so if I do forget some of the Mathmech cards, I do apologize. It's been, oh god, it's probably been like 8 months since I've probably even like looked at the deck. Well, no, I don't think it's been that long. It's probably been like 6 months or 5 months or something like that. It's not been that long ago. I know like there was a new card that came out, Mathmech Division. I think it was one of the cards that actually came out, which I really do like the design of it. It obviously is not going to be played in this because of how old the manga was. This was like a more recent Mathmech card, so I don't expect to see it, but maybe if Dark duels again with this Mathmech deck, and this is the deck he stays with, because I feel like with OCG Structures, I feel like these kids are going to be switching decks. I just have a weird feeling that's what's going to be the case, or who knows, maybe Shoma is just going to use Tenjis for the entire time, which I wouldn't really mind. I'm kind of growing. I'm trying to grow on Tenjis a little bit. I don't think I'm going to ever play Tenjis, but it's good for me to try to get more used to a deck and kind of more get a fun of a deck, I guess. I mean, I already like the Mathmech, so there's no growing for that. And then with like Strong is like the Sworn archetype, maybe I can try to get into that. I have no idea. We would just have to see. But we go to his turn. He gets one of the Xyz monsters out, which is he was able to add addition to his hand, and then was able to tribute it to get back the monsters, activates substitutions effect. And again, if I'm pronouncing that one's name wrong, I do apologize. I can't just remember its name off the top of my head. I mean, well, there's not that many cards. I mean, he didn't use multiplier. There was another Xyz monster that I don't think he used. There's 2 Xyz monsters in the deck. He did use both of the synchro monsters. He used Mathmech Sigma, and he actually summoned the ace monster of his deck, Mathmech Final Sigma, which one of my favorite design cards in the entire game. I love the design of Final Sigma. I think it looks so cool, like the white. If you honestly have a white and red color scheme on something like that, or like a full-on black color scheme, or even like a black and red color scheme, I'm immediately gonna love it. That's why I like Red Eyes Black Dragon. I like the black and red concepts. That's why I like one of my actually it is my favorite elemental hero, Escarado, full on black cloak, and I absolutely love it. Elemental hero Dark Neos, I really do like that card's design. Even like Contrast Hero Chaos, I really do like that card design a lot as well. So like you kind of see where I am more fun into the cards designs, and I even like Geno Mathmech Sigma's design. I think it's really cool, and yeah, but he's able to get out Final Sigma, and he was able to activate one of the equip spells, which it was like. It was Nebula something. I can't remember what the name of the full name it was. Again, I don't memorize these cards all the time because there's just a lot of cards. I just remember it from when I used to play with it, which is a pretty... Final Sigma is a pretty interesting card. It can't be destroyed in the extra monster zone, and because that's the whole thing with Mathmech. This deck is never run with Link monsters. It never really is. I've seen some builds where people will put Link monsters. I did put some Link monsters in there actually, but I really rarely ever use them because they're just not really good because of the fact that Final Sigma needs to be in the extra monster zone to have that protection. And then you have like the Nebula equip spell. That monster can actually reach insane amount of attack points. I know there's a combo you can do where you can actually end up getting this card to 12,000 attack points, which is pretty insane. That's enough attack points to go in a head-to-head battle with Chaos number 1000 Numeronius, which, fun fact, Numeronius has actually got their effects announced, which I think is really, really cool. So, and by the way, just for anyone's wondering, I'm not going to do a video on it. I was really contemplating that because I was going to do that in Lightning Overdrive, but I don't have enough time to do it. It's been old news at this point, so I'm just going to skip on it. I'll say it right now, like this exclusive support. I think it's really cool. Just a shameless plug in there, but I just want to say that I like this exclusive support that's coming out. I really like that Rank Up Magic card, Rank Up Magic Sexual Force. I really do like that card. Just wanted to mention that real quick. A very interesting plug in there. But anyway, he is able to get those cards on the field. He basically unlocks Shoma out of his strategy because with the Tingies, if you remember from the last duel, he was just able to return monsters back to the hand. But with Final Sigma's extra monster zone effect, it cannot be targeted by effects. So now Shoma has to beat it in a head-to-head battle. But with this spell card, it's going to be able to double its attack points. And Shoma is going to have a very hard time getting this monster on the field. But this is Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't care if it's an anime or a manga. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! We know what is going to happen. Or at least I feel like I know what's going to happen. I don't know. So we're just going to have to see. I still think Shoma's going to win this duel. I don't see why he wouldn't win this duel. I mean, I feel like it would be too early, I guess, for him to lose. But you know what? I honestly can be wrong. Especially since these two characters are kind of doubting that Shoma's going to win. I feel like that gives more of a incentive for Shoma to actually beat this character. But I've been wrong before. I mean... In which I can't say that because, you know, it's happened before. Literally, in the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, Yuga lost in the second duel of the episode. Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Yu-Gi-Oh! Lost to Yuzu in the original in episode 2. And even though this is chapter 3 of the manga, this is also a two-parter, so I don't think it really matters. This is like the second duel. So we've seen before in Yu-Gi-Oh! Medias where the second duel, the protagonist can lose, so it be a possibility, but I'm not going to worry about it. I do feel like Shoma's going to win. And also, I know that the chapters are already out before, so if you know who wins, just don't say anything, please. I don't want to ruin my experience with this. So, yeah, that is going to be it. There wasn't really much in this. They were just talking for a lot of the chapters about, like, the structure. He was basically in the structure world for, like, 5 pages, I believe. And then you just had him confronting Light until his brother intervened, and then you just had him doing his turns, and that was basically the end of this. And then I'm assuming the next episode is going to be more focused on the duel itself. I feel like this is going to be another 3-4 turn duel. I mean, it's going to be a long duel. I know that for a fact because of how the structure is for Master Rule 4, which I keep forgetting that they're following Master 4 rules, which is really weird. So yeah, that is going to be it, guys, for this episode review. Sorry, I mean chapter review. I am so used to that, doing 2 episode reviews and a chapter review, and normally in a week. You can normally get them messed up, but that's going to be it, guys, for this chapter review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of this chapter down below. And as a little bit of a fun thing, I think something also too, I should have been more specific of what I meant by you can see some of your favorite archetypes. I should say that it was more of the newer ones. I feel like until we get like Rise of the Duelist, because I think they are probably still up to that point. I feel like most of the archetypes that we're going to see are going to be more of new and more of the meta. Like, I feel like we might still see like Dark Dragons. I feel like might be in this manga. We can potentially see dinos in there, even though dinos have older engines in them, but like see more. I feel like once the chapter catches up to the current time with Phantom Rage, I feel like we might be seeing virtual world monsters in that manga. So I should have been more specific on that. Let me know what archetypes that you guys would like to see. More side of the new side of things, because I feel like that's where they're going to be more going towards, because obviously you want to promote new cards, and then that's the best way to do it with OCG Structures, because doing older decks I don't think makes any sense from a business standpoint, so I should have been a little bit more specific on that. But love to know what crazy decks you think can go together. Maybe even combine decks, because you can play like different decks together and make a deck out of that. So let me know what you guys think down below. But guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, guys, take care and have yourselves a great rest of your day.